Alright, we are back with Season 3, Race 16. I was a little bit longer on that break than expected. Of course, we've carried over from the previous race. There was a delivery that happened to arrive towards the end of that last one. They left it outside the front door, which isn't ideal. So had to go and quickly grab that so that no one potentially steals it. You don't want people taking stuff off your doorstep. So let's run and get that as well. So very nice of them to do that. Yes, we're back. I've got a fresh new drink. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to do what they need to do, ready for the next exciting race. I was keeping an eye on the chat as well while I was setting things up. Were saying their wife wants to join, so I have someone worse than you. It's great to hear, the more the merrier. Hopefully we can expand further going forward and get back up to the numbers we had previously before we did the sign-up change and the big break. Slightly to blame on that one. But yeah, that's great to hear. We'll see. Maybe your wife will end up being better than you. See how things go there. Might have a bit of a rivalry going on. Superboss saying, "Don't worry, this season is a fluke for Superboss." Hey, you never know. Stay positive. Could keep this going forward. Impossible. Hey, we'll have to wait and see. Have to wait and see in the next season. And you know, there will be a slightly bigger prize pool as well, so even more pressure there for them top 3 spots. So, current standings following the last race. Marnie currently the top with 317, Superboss in second with 301, Jimmy in third with 295, Azert in fourth with 286, Iceman in fifth with 283, Peskybird in sixth with 282, Cheese in seventh with 256, Boy in eighth with 255, and Demon in ninth with 245. So today's track, we are at, say today's second race of today. This race track doesn't sound right. This track, Marble GP Japan, created by our very own Iceman. Another one of the Marble GP series. If you want to check them out, there are a whole bunch of them. If Iceman is currently watching, I'm sure they have an idea of how many there are. But there are absolutely loads of Marble GPs out there created by Iceman from multiple regions of the world. Go check them out on the workshop. All brilliant tracks. Same with all of our creators. If I don't mention it at all on any of them, of course, go check all of them out. And any others across the workshop. Loads of creative people out there. Loads of creative tracks to check out and go and have fun on, ranging from races to just marble runs to any other creative things. To be completely honest, there's a variety of stuff out there outside of just the racetracks that we show here. But with that said, let's head over to the track. So here we go, Marble GP Japan. Based on, if I remember correctly, Mount Fuji. That's why it's a big rocky mountain. And that is what we'll be racing around and through. So it's a sharp corner to start. Already answering Blur's question straight away there. We have a sharp little hairpin here, going just slightly into the mountain. Then up a ladder, sharp hairpin again, lots of sharp turns on this one, so you got to be careful on those. Pick the best lines through those. Try not to lose too much time on the corners. A very twisty track. And a ladder into a little split off area for 2 routes down to the finish. So let's get the racers spawned in. So after the rough ending in the previous race, we'll be starting at the front. and Iceman will be starting at the back, reverse grid as always. And let's get the race started. 8 laps around this track, and they're off into the first corner. Everyone piling in together. Iceman with a great start, already moving up from the back of the grid up to second. Had a great line down there. Not enough to get past Boer though, who's going to currently hold first place. The hairpins are quite a big chance to try and get a good dive in, as Cheese shows there, getting in front of Boer. So onto the ladder, Boer and Cheese will be side by side. Jimmy will be just behind. Then we have Demon, Iceman and Azure side by side, followed by Marnie, Pesky Bird and then Superboss. So making their way up to the top, Boer and Cheese will be side by side. Cheese with a slightly better line going in, but Boer with a better exit. A bit more speed will try and break away. Now I've got a couple of tricky hairpin turns here. Lots of chances to make a lunge. Marnie making a big lunge there, gaining a couple of spots. Going into the mountain. See who can master the twisting track the best. Cheese is going to force Boer up against the wall to make a breakaway now into first. Jimmy is on the tail of Boer. We have Marnie, Demon and Azure grouped together. Pesky Bird not far behind. Going up to the ladder, Cheese on Boer on Jimmy on's going to block the 3 behind. Azure, Marnie and Demon will be side by side. Then we have Pesky Bird, and then Iceman, after quite a strong start, is going to drop down to the bottom and we'll be side by side with Superboss for that 8th or 9th position. So coming off the ladder, Cheese will be leading, Boer following, going the same route. Jimmy will be going the opposite way around. As hitting the wall is going to slow them down. You can see Pesky Bird gain a position from that. Boer has a much better release than Cheese, but a slight bump there near the wall will slow them down, but now right on the tail of Cheese. And Jimmy getting pressured by the 2 Eternal Darkness teammates, Demon and Marnie. But Jimmy with a big lunge is going to get past Cheese and Boer on that sharp corner in the side of the mountain. Cheese manages to squeeze on, but Jimmy's going to block Boer out, which means Boer is going to be side by side with Marnie, Demon just behind. Then Azure, Iceman's going to squeeze past Pesky Bird, meaning Pesky Bird and Superboss now side by side at the back. Now up at the top, Jimmy and Cheese. Jimmy with a rough exit there, not quite pulling off what Boer could do. So Cheese is going to break away a bit in first. Try and pull away from Boer, who has Demon very close behind. So everyone's still quite close together up at the front. Cheese could use this to try and extend the lead. Hope that everyone else behind is too busy battling for position. Quite smooth around that hairpin. Everyone making it around quite smooth. Let's go and see what's going on the ladder. Cheese had some trouble and Boer actually sniping in. He's going to be side by side with Cheese once again. Jimmy in third, Demon and Azure side by side behind Jimmy. Then we have Marnie, Pesky Bird and Superboss and Iceman side by side. Now coming off the top of the ladder, Boer's going to be on the outside, which means Cheese is going to squeeze in front. Demon doing the same to Azure. A better line by Boer, again clipping that wall. There's a slight bump there that Boer keeps getting caught on, which means Cheese, Boer and Jimmy now very close together, and Demon not far behind either. We've got Marnie also within the sights. Got to be careful here. mistake like we see there from Boer is quite costly, dropping 2 positions from that. As all 3 of them went piling into that corner, Boer ended up losing out. But Jimmy having difficulties on the ladder means it's now going to be Cheese still leading, but Demon in second, Marnie up to third, and Jimmy and Boer side by side. And then further down we have Azure, Pesky Bird, and Iceman and Superboss still side by side at the back as well. Boer did have the fastest lap from the first lap, but Jimmy did take it on lap 2. Demon with a good line through there, better line than Marnie's, going to get past and move up to second. Cheese still with quite a good lead, keeping a nice gap back to second. Marnie gets back past Demon. Boer is chasing Jimmy down. We'll see if there's going to be any trouble at the ladder. Marnie with the rebound, but Demon's going to help them on. Jimmy and Boer side by side. Marnie and Demon side by side as they're slowing down a bit there. Iceman just doesn't quite make it, and the force of Superboss pushing him on actually then pushes Iceman back off again, meaning Superboss is going to move up to 7th, Iceman in 8th, and Pesky Bird currently in 9th. Just as Superboss said in the chat, easily holding last. Gains a couple of positions. Jimmy with a good move around the outside of Demon there, just finding that gap, threading the needle, and moves up a position. Demon with a great run down there, same as Boer. Boer not quite enough speed. Demon managing to gain a couple of spots with that speed, but Boer gets closed off by Jimmy. Finds a route past on the following corner, but then gets blocked out by Marnie. The gap is closing in on Cheese as well. As we are halfway through the race, Cheese is going to have to try and keep consistent here to hold first. And as I say that, Demon actually comes through, as Cheese has issues with the ladder, but Demon comes through and takes first away. Marnie and Cheese are now second, side by side. Boer and Jimmy side by side as well. Then it's Superboss, Azure, and then we have Pesky and Iceman side by side at the bottom. Here's a big lunge by Marnie there to get past Demon on the hairpin from the ladder. Jimmy on the tail of Cheese. He's going to make a lunge and it works. We're just sitting back watching the battling go on. Probably waiting for the right time to make a move. Cheese does get back past Jimmy as we head through the mountain. It's still very close up at the front. Cheese right behind Demon, going to look for a way past as we head over to the ladder, trying to avoid all the other bits of track in the way. And it looks like with a big lunge there, it's going to be Cheese, Marnie and Demon side by side in that top spot. Pesky Bird and Azure side by side. Iceman currently at the bottom. So coming off the top, it looks like Cheese is going to have the best line, no contact with the wall. Marnie and Demon split to either side. But Cheese has a great line on the exit as well. Demon for the inside, Marnie with a bit of a slow route. Jimmy as well. Boy with some good speed is going to try and close the gap on Jimmy. But Cheese is just going to try and break away in first once again. Looks like a bit of a rough turn there. He's going to lose some time. Jimmy not with the best turn either. And Azure and Superboss are now joining the action. You know what? Everyone has started to group up a bit once again. Jimmy having big trouble with the ladder. So is Superboss. Both managing to get on side by side, but Iceman and Pesky Bird now right behind them. Marnie makes a lunge past Demon. We're in 4th, Azure in 5th. Jimmy and Superboss battle it out. Jimmy will hold 6th. Still holding that fastest lap. Superboss in 7th. Iceman 8th. Pesky Bird in 9th. So back up to the front. Cheese still going strong. But can't let off as Marnie and Demon and Boer all hot on Cheese's tail. Going into the ladder. Cheese does keep hold of first. Marnie on second. Demon having some trouble means Boer's going to join them neck and neck for that 3rd place. These ladders can really make or break your race. Iceman on in front of Jimmy, and then Pesky Bird and Superboss side by side. Cheese with a good line going for the left route. Marnie with a bit of a slower run through is going to hit the middle part. Hit a few walls on the exit. We're getting slowed down a bit as well. Going on to lap number 6. And Azure is now closing the gap on Boer. And then we have Iceman, Pesky Bird, Jimmy, and Superboss. It looks like Azure's going to make the move on the hairpin in the side of the mountain. Does make it work, but then has trouble on the ladder, means Boer and Azure will be side by side. But Cheese still holding strong in that 1st place. Marnie and Demon trying to hunt Cheese down. Boer gets a good line through that corner. Is going to hold in front of Azure. Marnie has a bit of a bad bounce. Going a bit slow through this section. Demon's going to come along and give them a bit of a push to get them going. Azure with a bump into the back of Boer as well. Sees the opening and makes the move. Azure does get past Boer through that section. Boer gets a bit of a slow exit on that corner, means Azure's going to break away a bit. Going up to the ladder, Cheese gets a good entry onto the ladder. Marnie and Demon will go side by side. Azure straight on the ladder, Boer straight on the ladder. No one trying to give up any time up at the front here, as it is still close and all to play for. Jimmy falling off is going to be joined by Superboss side by side, and Pesky Bird currently at the back. Jimmy still holding the fastest lap. So Cheese on the release. Demon, Marnie and Azure going the opposite side. We're opting for the same side as Cheese. It's a good run there for Marnie, closing that gap on Cheese with a lot of speed. Is now right behind them. Azure trying to get past Demon but gets blocked off. Lap 7, Cheese is at risk as Marnie is right on their tail. And Marnie currently proving to be one of the strongest racers this season. Not someone you want to be hunting you down for that #1 position. But some difficulties at the ladder. Cheese playing some good defense. Means they'll keep hold of that 1st spot. Marnie in 2nd, Demon and Azure side by side in 3rd, and Boer just behind. Further back we have Iceman, Pesky Bird and Superboss side by side, and then Jimmy currently in last. And Azure taking a fastest lap on that lap as well. Now going off the top of the ladder, it seems like there's been some trouble for the 2 Eternal Darkness members, as Marnie and Demon have both been passed. It's now Azure in 2nd, Boer in 3rd. we're hoping to pick up some big points following the events of the last race. Azur's going to try and block a bit, but Boer will get on side by side with Azur, Marnie behind, and then Demon following. As we are heading towards the final lap of the race. Iceman in 6th, Jimmy in 7th, Superboss in 8th, Pesky Bird in 9th. Cheese still holding this lead, just hanging on. One more lap to hold on. It's been a strong race so far. Can Cheese keep it up? A fastest lap there just to help extend that lead further. Azur in 2nd, Boer in 3rd, Marnie in 4th, Demon in 5th. We're going to see any lunges on this corner. We are. Boer takes a lunge in front of Azur, moving up to 2nd. Going up to the ladder, Cheese has a bit of a bounce and Boer sneaks through, pushing Cheese out the way. Boer moving up to 1st on the final lap of this race. Cheese and Azur side by side in 2nd. There's now a gap back to Marnie and Demon. Then we have Iceman, Jimmy having some difficulties. Jimmy, Superboss and Pesky Bird will be side by side. Going to the corner, Cheese makes a big lunge, manages to get past Boer, reclaiming that #1 spot with a great line through there. See how clean these corners will be. Boer right behind Cheese. Got to be careful though, the fighting can result in someone being slowed down or pushed backwards. The collisions can be risky, but Boer makes it work, managing to squeeze past Cheese, and will go back up into 1st. As we are heading through towards the final ladder and the final section of the race. Cheese is going to go for a lunge on the inside, doesn't make it work though, clipping the inside wall. We'll have to settle for tucking in behind Boer. We might see some action here at the ladder though. Will Boer make it on? Playing the block, Boer and Cheese will be side by side going onto the ladder. Boer is nervous and I do not blame them. As it is going to be side by side on the ladder. Cheese slowly edging their way over to try and get a good lineup on the exit. But Boer is going to have the inside line. We're going to see what happens coming up to the corner. They're also at risk with Azur on the other side with open space. Boer does make it round in front of Cheese. We'll see how the line is going through here. Boer with a perfect line across to finish in 1st place. Cheese in 2nd with the fastest lap. Azur's going to finish in 3rd. Marnie in 4th. Demon in 5th. Very close together up at the front. Iceman is going to come through in 6th. There's a battle going on between Pesky Bird and Jimmy, but Pesky Bird is going to take 7th. Jimmy takes 8th. And Superboss is going to come through in 9th. So what an incredible finish. Cheese holding down such a strong race all the way through. But we're coming through at the end to absolutely snipe it, just waiting for the perfect opportunity to take that #1 position. Make the overtakes. There we go. And no DNFs. Incredible race. So over to the winners cam. Congratulations to Boer on the race win. Claps in the chat. Such a great finish. Great race all round. Everyone very close together. Lots of action, lots of overtakes all the way through. What we like to see in a good track. As Superboss says, better than last race. I'm sure Boer fully agrees on that one. So with all of that done, I'm going to enter the results onto the leaderboard, and I'll be back with the updating. I can tell 2 races in a row and my mind's gone. I'll be back with the updated standings in just a minute. Alright, the results have been entered, so let's go and take a look at the standings. So following that race, Marnie is still holding that #1 spot with 336 points. Superboss in second with 313. Azur and Jimmy are tied in third place with 308. Iceman is fifth with 298. Pesky Bird in sixth with 296. Boer in seventh, moving back up over Cheese with 285. Cheese in eighth with 282. And Demon in ninth with 262. So yes, Marnie is currently still holding that top spot. Pretty dominating performance so far in the season. Not a bad finish once again, just outside the top 3, but enough points to keep hold of that top spot, especially with Superboss finishing 9th. It's going to help extend that first place for Marnie. But we are seeing Boer, Cheese and Azur picking up some good points there. Azur managing to get up into a tied third position, so fighting over one of the podium spots. But still plenty left to go, still plenty more points up for grabs and plenty still to play for. A great race, great finish, and that is going to be it. 2 races in one stream, and we made it through. So we'll be back next time with Le Qual Circuit. Probably butcher the name, I'm sure I always do. You're welcome, Bert. Thank you for joining. As always, thank you everyone for all the support and joining and watching. Really appreciate all of it. It was a good couple of races. And this next track, in fact, was known for a few DNFs. It was quite an interesting track. It was another one of our old elimination tracks. So I'm sure that's going to bring lots of drama along with it. So look forward to that. But that is going to do it for this stream and this race. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.